All right, let's go ahead and prop this up and start pouring. So as I pour, I'm going to be moving carefully back and forth. Oh yeah! So cool! Hey everybody, it's Anna. Welcome back to my Fluid Art channel and thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'm going to paint a feather, and I'm going to do that with the angel wing pour technique, which I tried out for the first time a few weeks ago, and I made these two cute little warbler wings. And I thought, they look like wings, but they kind of look more like feathers. And so I've been thinking about how to make just a single feather. That's what I'm going to try today. So I have a 10 by 20 inch canvas. I have a split cup, which is what you need for a wing pour, except this is just a 2-chamber split cup because you'll see. So then I've got the blue paint for my background. This is a beautiful mix of cerulean blue and white. It's mostly white. I kept adding white and more white to try to get it pale. The consistency of this paint is more of a medium. It's not a really thin or even a medium thin. It's got a bit of body to it because I want my colors and all of the lines to be really crisp and clean. And then the two colors for the feather are just black and white. I want to try to make a gull feather. So seagull feathers, they can have all sorts of different patterns on them, but the classic, it's sort of a white feather with a black tip. So that's what I'm going to try to make. I figured let me keep it simple for the first single feather pour, and then if it turns out well, then maybe I'll go more complicated for another one. But yeah, so for a wing pour, what you do is you have a puddle of, for example, your blue paint here. And then with your split cup, you pour out a pattern and you have wing color, and more background color in the middle. So as they flow out, you get these lovely sort of layers and feathering in between this and the center background. So it looks like these two just plain wings are coming out. To make just a single wing, I'm still going to have a puddle of color, but I'm going to have the blue on one side and my black and white on the other side. So as I pour it out, I should get just one feather shape, and then the other side of the pattern will just be the blue background color. And I'm hoping it works out well. I feel like it should. But then once I have the design on there, then I'm going to spin it to stretch it. And yeah, I think this could be promising, so let's make a painting. All right, so let's put the paint into the cup. I'm going to start with mostly white because I just want black sort of up at the tip, and I want almost all the rest of it to be white. And I thought it would be cool if there was some sort of a metallic in there, but I want to keep it really simple for now because I think this feather design is going to look really pretty even with just a couple colors. So now I'm just going to pour a little bit of black in the middle, and I will bring it sort of up to the front to make sure that it is the first thing that pours out. That's not a lot of black paint, but I think it'll be plenty for the tip of this feather. And then, this cup is so large, I don't know how I'm going to be able to pour out of it. So let me just scoop for a little bit. And I want both sides to be even as they pour out so that the stream of paint contains equal amounts of both sides. Yeah, those look pretty equal. Let me wipe off the side of this. Great. Now I am actually going to turn it this way for the actual pouring because it's easier for me to pour the cup sideways. And I'm going to use this little cup to prop it up. I think probably this is going to be enough of tilt. I don't know. On a longer canvas, yeah, maybe I will put it all the way up on top of the cup. Okay, so because I'm going to be spinning this, and I want the feather to stay, I don't want it to go off either end. Whenever you spin a canvas, let's say you're spinning a circle, it's going to flow towards the outsides equally, right? But if you have a rectangle like this, the paint is going to flow faster towards the longer ends than it will here, because there's more force pulling it off. So I don't want to pour a feather across the whole thing and then spin it, because it's all going to go this way instead of this way. So I want to try to keep my feather design contained kind of here. And that way, as I stretch it, it's going to stretch here at the same rate as it'll stretch this. Hopefully that makes sense. But what I'm going to do, instead of putting my puddle here, I'm going to put my puddle here, and then I'm going to try to pour it here instead of off the end. Also, because as I'm pouring it out, I want the feather to be centered, and I've got extra blue that I'm pouring. So I'm going to be pouring it slightly off center, and so I need to make my puddle off center. Okay. And I don't know that it needs to be a huge puddle, because I will be adding flow paint all across the canvas as need be before I stretch it. It's always exciting to try new things, and always a little bit scary too. So I'm just pulling it back a little bit, because I know once I tip it up, it's going to start sliding. As I pour, I'm going to make sure that my spout is as close to the canvas as it can be, because if you pour from too high up, it's going to swirl and mix, and I want to keep it really clean layers coming out, the blue side and the black and white side. All right, let's go ahead and prop this up and start pouring. So as I pour, I'm going to be moving carefully back and forth. So this is interesting. The patterns that it's making are different than the patterns that I got when I was using colors on both sides. And I don't know if that's because my paint is slightly thicker, or because it's different in a 2-chamber split cup instead of 3. I'm not sure. Either way, I'm going to stop there. We have kind of a cool design here. Definitely have a black tip. We've got white. We've got lots of layers in here. We have some interesting sort of wispy bits of black and white ending up in the blue, and those might get scraped off at the end. So I'm just going to let this continue to flow a little bit until my feather is a little bit more centered. And I'll lift it to help it go a little bit faster. Okay, so it's fairly centered there. Now I'm bringing just the weight of the paint back. I'm going to tilt it a little bit this way to bring the feather a little bit closer to center. Okay, we'll see how that goes. So to stretch it now, I do want to spin it. And I have a larger spinner and I have a smaller spinner. Since this one is narrow and I'm not going to be spinning really fast, I think I can put it on the smaller spinner. So the last thing I had on here was a 10-inch canvas. So I'll just move the tape in a little bit. I mean a 12-inch canvas. This is a 10-inch. Okay. So I've got it centered pretty well in all directions. Okay, before I spin, I'm going to add more base paint in all directions. I'm just going to spread that a bit towards the corners to make sure that those get covered. And before I spin, I'm just going to pull up a little bit of that design that I can tell is not something I'm going to want. That does look relatively feather-like, doesn't it? That's cool. Okay, now the feather is definitely weighted more towards this side of the canvas, and so I'm actually going to pick up the whole thing and move it a little bit off center so that more of it will want to travel this way than will want to travel this way. And I think that'll help it to stretch and center itself on the canvas. All right, this is exciting. Let's go ahead and spin. Oh yeah! Look at that! So cool! All right, so we definitely have a feather shape. It is traveling towards both sides. I'm gonna re-center it a bit because it needs to travel more this direction and also more this direction. Whoops. So I'm gonna move it towards the side and more this way. And I'm not going to spin it really hard because I don't want to lose too much of this off the end. It's okay if we lose a little bit, but I don't want to lose a lot. Oh, just stuck my arm in the paint trying to catch it. But I was realizing it's coming off the end here and it's approaching the end there, which means it's exactly where I want it. Oh, this is so cool! So obviously we need a little bit more paint in a couple areas, and that'll be very easy to add. It's possible, we've got a bit of a wiggle here, it's possible that I'd come in with a brush and just smooth that out to make it like the perfect feather shape. The other thing that I was thinking about doing, I was planning on, if my design sort of ended like as a rectangle, I was gonna take my palette knife and scrape off some of the design to taper it down to just like what's the base of a feather, like you'd use for a quill pen. But it did this beautiful taper on its own, so I don't know that I'm going to do that, but I might do that for future feathers. I think this looks fine without it. Does it? I don't know. Let me fill the sides and then I'll decide. So I'm going back and forth in my mind about this. This looks really cool as it is, and I'd be very happy to leave it this way. On the other hand, I do think it would look better if it tapered to more of a point and ended before the canvas, or at least a little closer. I think it would look more centered, because the top doesn't go off, so I think if the bottom ended not quite off as well, it would look a little better. So I'm going to do that. We have video evidence of how this looked. So you can tell me in the comments, am I making a terrible decision, or am I trying to achieve the exact goal? You tell me. So what I'm going to do is I want to remove basically this. And I'm going to start from the bottom, so I'm not sliding a bunch of paint into other paint. And I don't want to mess up my design as I swipe through it, which is why I'm pulling out sort of bits at a time. Okay, so I got to get that scraped out. And then once that's completely gone, then I can add some more base paint. Because you don't want to get your base paint all kind of muddied up with the white and black that I'm trying to pull out of there. Already I like that shape better. So I think I'm happy I'm doing this. little bit of base paint, and then I'm just going to very carefully nudge it up against my design so I don't mess anything up. Just pulling a little bit of blue in here so it doesn't look quite so smooth, and pulling some bits of the design out so that it looks like this was all part of the original look. For this next section, I want to pull some of the blue across the black so that the black gets narrowed a little bit and then comes down as the quill. Yeah, that worked decently well. But now I need to add some more blue paint in here so that it doesn't just come right back to where it had been. I have a lot of paint here in the middle where it's kind of gotten scrunched. Let me get that smoothed out. I'm trying to remember exactly like what color. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be white down here at the tip. I don't know if that's something that I can add while it's wet. I want to challenge myself to get this shaped almost completely while it's wet. Yes, that's it. I love it. Let me give it one final torch. I'm not torching the feather too much because I don't want to make lots of blue air bubble cells in here, but I do want to torch the background. Then I'll give you a close-up. Okay, this thing is so cool. I love how it is centered. Top to bottom, that's exactly what I was wanting. Alright, so up here at the tip, all those layers, they're not really crisp, but they do give that impression of a feather. It's beautiful. And then I am glad that I tapered it down to a tip here. So I'll clean up that tip with a brush and make it look really realistic, but I really like that. And I'm so happy that I was able to get the single wing centered on the canvas and spin it exactly like I thought. So, really happy with this. Let me let it dry and then I will come back and show you the finished painting. Alright, it's all finished. So I did do a few brush touch-ups. Let me show you those. First of all, here on the quill, I added just a little bit of white to make it a more defined shape, and then brought in a little bit of the black just to really tie everything in. And I painted a little bit white in that sort of blue channel that formed. I do like the blue and I didn't want to cover it all up, but I did want it to sort of fade into white so it looked more natural. And then here, where those sort of black and white stripes, they were kind of curving straight down into the edge where I scraped it. And so while the paint was wet, it was after I turned off my cameras, I used my palette knife to drag some of those lines a little bit more towards the quill, and then I touched them up a little bit with a brush too, just to help it look like they're really flowing naturally into the tip of the feather. And then the last thing was, I had had some of those speckly blue cells from the air bubbles of torching, and I painted over a lot of those with my leftover black paint. I didn't get every single one, because some of these, especially where the black is not super solid, it would have been hard to cover that up. And I don't mind a little bit of speckling, but I didn't want them to distract from the overall look of the feather, so I did cover most of those. But I absolutely love how this turned out. I'm so happy that I did end up scraping that bottom area and reshaping it to be a nice centered, full feather shape. It is exactly the shape that I was looking for, and I cannot wait to try more of these in different colors. Thank you so much for joining me for this wing pour feather experiment. I hope it's inspired you to try something new, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye guys!